This question 9 on exercise, what's it, 18 points? 18.6, okay? How many tiles would there be in the fifth pattern? To do this, what we do is we write down the first couple of tiles. 2, 6, second pattern has 6, third pattern has 12, fourth pattern has 20. Write down these numbers, 12, 20, okay? So what you can see here is that the first gap is the first difference is a gap of 4, a gap of 6, and then a gap of 8. The second difference is a gap of 2 and a gap of 2. Now, what this means is the gap for the fifth one should be a gap of 10, and that will bring the total up to 30. Another way of looking at this sequence would be the first one's 1 by 2, the second one's 2 by 3, the third one's 3 by 4, the fourth one is 4 by 5, the next one should be 5 by 6. 5 by 6 is 30. Two ways of looking at the pattern. Okay, explain why the numbers of tiles in the pattern do not form a linear sequence. Why did they not form a linear sequence again? Anybody?
The number changes each time.
Because they do not form a linear sequence because basically because the first difference is not the same for each one. Do you understand what I mean by the first difference? If it was a linear sequence, all the red values would be the same. It'll just say 4, 4, 4, 4. It goes up the same amount each time. So the first difference would be the same between each term, each consecutive term. What does the word consecutive mean? It does mean continuous. So example would be T1 and T2. The gap between T1 and T2 would equal the gap between T3 and T4. Right, that's what that means, okay? Now, what about the next part? We can get rid of that now. What's part 3 read, lads? Part 3?
Is the sequence of 5 to use as quadratic sequence?
Okay, it's a sequence of tiles, use a quadratic sequence. It is a quadratic sequence because the second differences are the same, are constant. Second differences are constant. So you just write down second differences are constant. So it is a quadratic sequence. Okay guys, next one, number 4, yeah? Find Tn. Okay, what's the formula for Tn again? Not in your tables? Tn equals, anybody? Plus C. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what T1 is. Okay, so T1. Okay, T1 is going to be, T1 is the number 2, isn't it? And T2 is the number 6. Okay, so T1 means, first of all, we have to figure out what A is. A is a half of 2. A therefore is 1. In that case, means I can rub out the A, because A is 1. Now, I had to plug in 1 into all these, because N gets replaced with 1. 1 squared plus B times 1 plus C, all of that equals 2. 1 squared is the number 1. Bring the number 1 over to your side and it becomes minus 1. Therefore, B times 1 is B. B plus C equals 1. That's our first equation. B plus C equals 1. Next we gotta do T2. T2 is, N is now 2. N is now 2. We get 2 squared plus B times 2 plus C, and all of this has to equal the number 6. 4 plus 2B plus C equals 6. Bring over the 4. 2B plus C, when you bring over the 4 it becomes a minus 4. 2B plus C equals 2. Put that in your in the bubble there to signify you have your two equations. Next, what we do is we need to change the first one into minus B minus C equals minus 1. This is so the C values cancel when I put them into a simultaneous equation. This now means B equals 1. If B equals 1, what's C? C is 0. And remember, A is also 1. Tn therefore is an squared plus bn plus c. Therefore it's now n squared plus bn, b is 1 plus n, c is 0. The answer is n squared plus n. I was asked earlier, how do I check that the answer is correct? What's T1 again? And let's say what's T4? What's T1 and T4? T1 is, and T4 is 20, right? Let's figure it out. If this answer is correct, it should tell me T1 is 2, and it should tell me T4 is 20. You don't have to do this part. This part is extra. This part is just a quick check to see if you're correct. T1 is going to be 1 squared plus 1. What's 1 squared plus 1? T1 is correct. Let's see if T4 works. Does T4 work? 4 squared plus 4 is 16 plus 4. Is 16 plus 4 20? Yes, it is. Therefore, we've gotten the right answer. Okay, there's part 5, isn't there? Part 5? Part 5. Use the expression for the nth term that you found to work out the number of tiles in the 12th pattern. Work out the number of tiles in the 12th pattern. What does that mean? It can either mean one of two things. The first one it means is, this is 5. Either means Tn equals 15, or you find T15. Is it option A or option B? Which one are we meant to do for this question? What are you thinking?
B.
B. Why did you get B, James?
So it's the 20th pattern, not like 20.
Oh, the 12th pattern. Sorry. It's not T15, it's T12. Sorry. That's probably why most people are confused there. It's either Tn equals 12 or you get T12. What?
It's 20.
Is it 20? Am I reading wrong? 20th. Excuse me. Second time around, lads. It's not T12, it's T20. So you have two choices, Tn equals 20 or T20. What does Tn equal 20 mean? If you were to construct a question that means Tn equals 20, what would the question say?
What term has 20 tiles?
What term has 20 tiles would be Tn equals 20. And what is the question for T20? How many tiles has the 20th term? That's the difference. Okay, so we're actually doing T20. To do T20, all we need to do is replace n with 20. 20 squared plus 20 is 420. Who got that one? 420. Good man, James.